So last year I started my home lab journey, and I've talked about that several times here on the channel. And one of the reasons why I started a home lab was because I wanted to create a Plex server, and I've done that. And I really enjoy using Plex for movies and TV shows. It works really, really well, and I use it all the time. I can use it on my TV, I can use it on my computer, I can use it on my phone. No matter where I'm at, I can watch an episode of NCISLA or whatever I'm wanting to do, and it works perfectly well. I had problems with Jellyfin. Someone told me to try Jellyfin. I couldn't get the transcoding to work, so I've just been very, very happy with Plex because it just works. So that situation is fine, but one of the true reasons why I wanted to do this was because I wanted to start self-hosting my music. And one of the reasons why that's the case is because I didn't want to pay for a music streaming service anymore. I spend about $120 on a music streaming service every year, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I have this vast library of music that I've curated over the course of 20 or 30 years, so I don't really want to have to pay for a subscription service to listen to music. So I figured I'd start self-hosting, but as I've talked about before, I encountered a problem. My music library is a mess. It is a god-awful mess, if you will. It comes from an eclectic variety of places. Take that how you will. And it also has a variety of formats, a variety of qualities, a variety of naming schemes. Some of it isn't named at all. Some of it's just numbers in random files. I have no clue what it is or where it came from even, really. So it's not a very well organized music collection. And I wanted to do something about that. So I tried Music Brains Picard, which is what someone pointed me towards, and said, hey, use this thing. It'll help you name your music and make sure everything's in proper form when it comes to tags and stuff. And I did that, and it ruined it worse. It made it worse. Now I have like 10 different copies of a song when I don't actually have 10 different copies of songs, but it's all named the same thing, so it looks like it's all named the same, and did that multiple times. It was not a good experience. Now, if you're ever going to try a music tagging software, take it from me, someone who's made a mistake, make a backup of your music library first, because if it makes it worse, you want to be able to go back to what once was. Even if that wasn't very good in the first place, at least it's not as bad as it could be if that music tagging software turns out to be a piece of garbage, or just at least doesn't do a good job. So first, back up your stuff. Just take it from me. So there's that. So I have been struggling with this problem for several months now. I've tried to start just kind of going through it line by line or song by song, and listening to the song, knowing what the song is, who's the artist, and all that stuff, and manually doing the tags. I started doing that, and I realized I don't want to do that. It is tedious. Now, I knew going into the whole manual process that it was going to take me a long time, probably years. And the huge mountain I'd have to climb in order to actually finish that project would be enormous and way more effort than I wanted to put into it, to be honest with you. It was not if it was just a few things, it'd be fine. But when it's 70 or 80 gigabytes of music, and that's not even like a huge library for a lot of like music lovers. Some people have terabytes of stuff. So I'm mid-range when it comes to the amount of music that I have. It's still too much for me to do manually. I just don't want to do it. So I gave up for a while, and I'm still in that period of giving up. I don't want to do that. I don't know a better way of making my music library good without either scrapping the whole thing and just re-downloading everything, which was something that I considered. I thought just about saying, hey, what I will do is I'm just going to put this away. What I thought I would do is I'd pluck out the ones that are good. So there's still some good areas of the neighborhood, if you will, in terms of like the tags are right, the quality's really good, and stuff like that. I could take that stuff out, add it to a new library, and then over time, I'd take the $120 a year I spend on Deezer and invest that money in just buying the albums that I want again. I could get some of the new stuff, get some of the old stuff, and just over time, my music library would expand again, and it would all be the same quality. It would all have proper tags and stuff like that. And I may still end up doing that. But that too would be a lot of work, and it would also take a long period of time to get to the point where my music library was actually good again. So what I've done is I've just ran back with my tail between my legs and signed up for Deezer again. I have paid for a year of Deezer, and I've given myself a year to figure out how to self-host my music in such a way where I can actually do it. But until then, streaming music is here to stay. And I think that this is a problem with locally hosted music. It's not that you can't do it, it just takes effort to curate. And one of the things, when you're a lazy person like I am, being offered a service that has millions of tracks, has your playlists already, and if you discover something new or you want to discover something new, you can get into the whole radio thing. They make playlists for you. There's a lot of very tempting things there, and they do all that for $120 a year. It's very tempting to just say, you know what? I'm not going to do local music at all. I'm just going to continue to pay for this forever until I'm dead, and it'll be fine. But I want to self-host my music, but do I really want to? I don't know. The thing is, like I said, I'm a lazy guy, so do I go the lazy route? Right now, I'm going the lazy route, because I still don't have a real good solution for self-hosting. So I think a lot of people are in this situation where the streaming services are just so damn convenient that it's hard to consider doing the hard thing, which is probably the right thing to do. You know, it would behoove a lot of people to self-host their own media because it would allow them to keep all of that stuff. They don't have to worry about things disappearing from the library or the price going up, which is just something that happens all the damn time. They're going to raise the price every year on every streaming service until you can no longer afford it, which is going to be their problem. Like, eventually they'll raise those prices so high, people will just have to cancel. That's just what's going to happen, unfortunately, but it's the truth. And that's every streaming service. They all do it. They're like, oh, I can just, it's like a frog in cold water that slowly gets to boiling, that whole metaphor thing, right? It's the same thing, like, oh, we'll just raise it $1. And everybody's like, well, I can afford another $1, but over time, Netflix goes from $7.99 to $24.99, and you're like, oh my God, the water's boiling. So, I mean, yeah, we're used to it, but we don't want to be used to it. So that's the situation where I don't want to be a frog in boiling water. I want to host my own stuff and control the pricing. So I'm there, but I'm also still a lazy bitch. So streaming music is still a thing for me for right now, and probably will continue to be, because it is very convenient while I consider how to actually fix my library. So what boat are you in? I'd love to know. Are you one of those who pays for a streaming service, or do you locally host? And if you do locally host, how have you maintained your library so that it actually, has quality across the board and has all the tags in the proper place? If someone has a system for fixing a music library that actually works, that doesn't entail me song by song over the next 10 years trying to fix that thing, I'd really appreciate you letting me know in the comment section below. You can follow me on Mastodon. That link will be in the video description. You can also follow me on Blue Sky. I think that link will be down there as well. I don't do much stuff on Blue Sky, but I'm there if you want to follow me. Most of my stuff gets posted on Mastodon, so follow me there. You can support me on Patreon at patreon.com/thelinuxcast. There you'll find a weekly exclusive podcast that I post for everyone who supports me. Basically, it's just me sitting down for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so, blabbering about stuff. Sometimes it's Linux related, sometimes it's tech related, sometimes it's not either of those things. It's just kind of a stream of consciousness kind of thing. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, you can support me on Patreon. Again, patreon.com/linuxcast. Thanks to everybody who does that. You can see all of their names here. Thanks very much for your support. I truly do appreciate it. You guys are all absolutely amazing. Without you, the channel just would not be anywhere near where it is right now. So thank you so very much for your support. If you support me on YouTube or Ko-fi, thank you as well. Chances are your name is not up there, or maybe it is up there. The YouTube whole notification thing for being a YouTube supporter, not very good. So I don't do a very good job of updating that for the YouTube guys, but that does not mean I don't appreciate you. So thank you if you support me on YouTube as well. Thank you so very much. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you next time.